hopefully, that'll fix the frame skipping, at least for now. Like essentially what ends up happening, at least for me, is that when everybody in the house is online and streaming stuff of various sorts or anything, then it always clogs up the bandwidth, essentially. So it doesn't work too well. It looks like my frames are okay. I'm not getting warnings of dropped frames right now, at least. So hopefully we'll be okay. Alright, so this is my breeding process right here. I am super excited because I am literally one step away from blue roses. These two right here. These two roses, these red roses, have a 1 in 4 chance of making blues. The problem is that they refuse to hybridize. I played the song from The Lion King. I played In the Jungle. Not the Welcome to the Jungle. That's a very different mood of a song. That's a workout song, not a hybrid making song. But yeah, I tried. You know, I'm working on it. So this is another one of the special roses. I'm waiting for that one to clone so that it can start to do its thing as well. But effectively, the only two that I'm missing right now are the red, the blue roses and the black cosmos, essentially. So, oh yeah, let's get it on is another good one. So in order to get the black cosmos, I've got a bunch of the oranges paired off. So I'm hoping that those will be able to make some. I haven't found any way to increase the likelihood of cosmos breeding blacks. There probably is one, but I have not had luck as of yet. But I literally have every other flower, every other color. So essentially what's going to happen is after I get those last ones that I'm missing, I'm going to end up going and just reducing all of this down significantly. And essentially just have a clone crop left over so that people can, so that I'm able to produce more of anything that I want. So yeah, it would be great. I'll be happy to open up for you guys so that you can come and water stuff. I do still have the Chocobo theme. I remember somebody mentioned what it was last time. I think after I had gotten raided, one of the folks mentioned that they knew what it was, and it's the Chocobo theme. It's very exciting. I'm still debating picking up the Final Fantasy VII remake. I really don't want to because it's only like a third of a game. So, meh. I did get raided, the matter. I actually got raided twice in one day last week. It was insane. It was... What was it? It was like Guardian something or other, or Star-Lord something or other. Because I remember I made a Rocket Raccoon reference. And then the other one was Lady in Pink or Pink Lady, something like that. It was awesome. It was so insane. It was a ton of fun though. But yeah, it was just like, whoa, what, whoa. So yeah, it was really cool. The other fun addition that I have to my island is I've made a diving section and like little cafe thing where before I had a pond at my little natural pier that I've got, but now I've changed it to have like a little diving platform since we can go swimming. I know a lot of people have done it. I am far from the first far from the first person to do it. But I think it's just really cute, and I put out some neat little decor and all that kind of stuff. So Matter, I think after various people had left, it ended up being like 19 or something like that. It was pretty solid, but the sudden flood was like 40 or something like that. It was huge. Guy at the back of the record store hassling you to buy classic rock albums cosplay. So you're a hipster, but a rock hipster. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like with the flannel undershirt and everything. I can see that guy telling me to buy Nirvana and Pearl Jam albums. Incidentally, if you guys are coming over and you need, I've got watering cans laid out just next to where all of my flowers are. So that's what the little tool things are over by here. They're these guys. They're the little watering cans if you guys need them. So yay! Oh, sorry. Hooray! Yeah. So this combination, the pink and the yellow. So this is a special pink. This is a normal yellow, but essentially this combination produces the special reds. So that's why I've got those as well. And so, again, I'm hoping that I'll be able to do it, but I'm not 100% sure that it'll work. We'll see. Everything else is essentially built on producing the either specific blues or the specific purples of the different ones. So like you can see, I've got the purple roses, windflowers, and tulips. I've also got the purple windflowers and pansies, which are relatively rare, as well as the hyacinths. So one thing that I'm probably going to end up doing as well is separating these out to where I'll have specific hybrid versions. So for example, right here, this is a red hybrid pansy. So the normal red pansies you can grow from seeds, but this is a hybrid pansy that allows you to grow the purples. So it's a little bit different. Like you see right here, I've got the blue and the red. This is a seed red. This is a blue that came from a previous cross. These two make the hybrid red that will give you the blue. Or the purple, rather. Sorry. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Yes. So Rev, I did a different method for doing the blues than what you did. The nice thing with yours is that you get better odds step by step, whereas with mine, it's slightly longer odds with each step, but you have fewer steps, and you still end up getting the blues and those special reds. So this is my little diving area that I made. You can see I have a couple of neat little lamps here, little palm tree lamps. This anchor is a gift that I got from Gulliver, one of the new characters that was added in the diving thing. And I even made this sign myself. It says, "Please swim." I wrote it out all by myself because I'm super awesome and it's very exciting. So what we can do now is we can go swimming. And so we can dive off of my little diving board here. We can just go like this and we go, whee! It's so much fun. And I didn't do it right that time, but you can, if you touch the B button or the A button at the right time, you can flip off of the board. There we go. So it's just a fun, goofy little thing that I made. And like I said, I like it. I think it's a cool thing to have. This is Doc. He's one of my favorite characters by far. He's super adorable. So I'm gonna go around right now and see if I can find anybody who's crafting at the moment. But yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that I end up getting a good roll for my breedings this time around. We'll see. The thing is that once I get one of whatever I need, whether it's that black Cosmo or the blue rose, I only need the one, because then I can just clone it over and over and over and over as much as I want. But yeah, like getting that first one is what's really brutal. So we're crossing fingers. We're hopeful. But yeah, it's that is my main goal that I still have in this game, is to basically build all of those. I've got I want to finish up the museum as well, because I'm a science nerd. But other than that, like, I'm pretty comfortable with how my island looks and all of the stuff that I've got, essentially. Oh, poor Zucker. Zucker reminds me of myself. He's very close to my heart, although it's the other side. Blue Bear is on some kind of a drug. We're not sure which. She claims it's coffee. I don't think coffee is as strong as it seems to be for her. Blue Bear, what you make? Paw print door plate. It comes from the same region as coffee. Exactly. Like right around there. So if anybody wants something, the door plate, the paw door plate, you can come and pick it up from Blue Bear here. I'm open to friends if anybody wants to come and visit. I know I didn't have it. Huh. Okay. Let's go and do it. So there's the paw print door plate. That's pretty cute. I like that. Natural garden chair. I've been waiting to get that for quite a while. But yeah, I got lots of cool DIYs. One of my other goals that I've got is I do want to be able to make the giant robot, the robot hero. The rusted parts by far are the worst, though. That is definitely the most difficult thing to make. Because you only get them from Gulliver and Gullivar, technically. And you only get one every time they visit. So it's pretty brutal. But I've got most everything else that I care about. So that's nice. Link is broken? Well, if the link's broken, how am I supposed to look at it? See, it's not letting me look at it even. I can't do it. I can't do it, Captain! I've given her all she's got. Yeah, so well, do you have the rocket recipe, Rev, or do you need the rocket recipe as well? Ah, there, yes. The link works now. Oh my! I'm sorry. It's really funny, Matter, that you posted that, because that is legitimately exactly what Rev is like to one of his people. And it is genuinely hilarious that you posted that. Oh god, who is it? Diva. Diva, I think, is Rev's character that they absolutely hate. Rev, not a fan of Diva. If memory serves, the original slight was that Diva said, hey, this reminds me of you, and it ended up being a lawnmower. I went through something very similar where I ended up getting a DIY recipe from somebody, and they told me, hey, this reminds me of you, and it was a recipe for garbage bags. I was like, the fudge, bro! Like, no. Red has no memory of Diva. Diva has been purged from the memory banks, apparently. But Diva was a very evil frog, I believe, is what it basically boiled down to. Very, very evil frog. There's no record of such a person ever existing. To be fair, it wasn't a person, it was a frog. But yeah, like there is a legitimate garbage bag or a trash bag recipe like this. This recipe I got from one of my island residents because they were like, oh, I found this recipe and it reminded me of you. It's like, oh, great, I remind you of trash. Remind you of trash. Yeah, that's generous. Douchebag. I honestly don't remember who gave it to me. But I've only gotten rid of a few of my characters. I think I got rid of Jacques, and there was a bird. There was another bird, I should say. Was it Midge? I want to say it was Midge that I also got rid of. Whee! So much fun. So adorable. But yeah, it's kind of funny to hear or see people talking about Animal Crossing and the characters, and how utterly fervent people are able to get about like the sheer intensity of hatred or love and adoration that they have. Thank you, Mathewin. I appreciate the drink. Bye, Rev! It was nice having you on my island. Hope you're super cool. Oh, I can go ahead and do this now. Quick, while nobody's looking. Me and my awesome colorful shovel. Y'all be jealous. Hated Flora. Which one's Flora? I have no idea who. Like, there's something like 370 characters, like possible residents that you can get. It's just a giant list. It's crazy. Oh, you had Flora and Fauna? That's adorable. Flora is a flamingo. Okay. I mean, you say the flamingo. I don't know how many flamingos there are, and I don't know who Flora is. Like, that's what I was saying. There's literally almost 400 characters. That's a lot of characters. I don't know all of them. I barely know the 10 that live on my island. A preppy flamingo, no less. So, when it comes to, like, prepping and stuff, for anybody who doesn't know, within this game, every islander has a personality of some sort. And depending on their personality, they'll be able to give you different stuff. So specific personalities will make certain DIY recipes. They'll give you specific gifts, all of that kind of stuff. They'll also give you specific reactions that you're able to get. So these are all reactions. So ideally, you want to have one of every single type, so that you're able to collect everything from the folks, essentially. And I think that there is a total of 8 reactions, so you can have 2 overlays, or not overlays, overlaps. In my case, my overlaps are lazies. So I've got Bones, who is an adorable doggo. I've got Doc, who is an adorable wannabe programmer bunny, whose house is absolutely incredible, I might add. And then I've also got, oh my god, what's his name? Zucker, the octopus that I went to visit earlier. Lifeguard chair. Oh, right, I ordered a lifeguard chair. Oh, grape umbrella, that's fun. Nook Incorporated wetsuit. So I got some of this stuff from my diving area, essentially. Head back over there. So the nice thing is that I'm still able to have this little pond here, so I can still catch pond fish. For anybody unaware, you do have rivers, mountain lakes, ponds, and ocean. You also have pier as a separate entity for places where you can catch fish. So make sure that you've got all of those places available for fishing. Just FYI. Alright, so let me put my lifeguard stand right here. Gotta keep all the people safe, you know. And then I can put the wetsuit like down here. There we go. Just so that everybody knows. You can have snorkels and everything, but... Link is broken. Uh-oh. How come there are 2 death count points? That is a fascinating question, and I legitimately have no idea. I guess part of the problem, for me at least, is that I literally don't look at my channel from the perspective of a viewer, ever. So, call me Ivory Tower, if you must. But, yeah, I honestly have no idea why that is. I'll have to see if I know. Or, if any of the regulars, so if Mathewin and or Rev can answer that, that would be very helpful, because I don't know. But I know that you can spend them to do certain things. One thing, actually, I could use your guys' opinion on this. One thing I've been debating as a point purchase for my streams is having like a snack of some sort. So, where's Pascal? The fudge! Why didn't I get Pascal? I don't want dive for sea creatures things. I want Pascal to show up. Is it because my island's open? Is that what it is? Seriously, if that's what it is, I'm gonna be mad. Anybody else want to come on? I don't care. I'm gonna go close up my island. Make sure I can see Pascal. No! It's not nap time! Wake up! But yeah, I was thinking about having like snackage of some sort, so maybe like celery or kale, because kale is delicious. This is Bones. He's adorable. Look at how adorable he is. He's an adorable doggo. He's very tired. What? What? See, Bones knows. Wherever you put the thing is exactly where the thing is supposed to go. So yeah, I could do celery or kale. Carrots maybe, but carrots have a little bit too much sugar for my taste. I could do a rice cake or something. Yeah, there are all sorts of different fun things. But I'm always looking for neat ways to like expand the channel and do fun things for you guys. So if y'all have any suggestions, just feel free to let me know. I could do like push-ups or sit-ups. That's always fun because, you know, push-ups and sit-ups. Classic. Kale. That's why I said kale, because kale is delicious. Everybody knows it. I could do squats. That at least you guys could see a little bit better. Push-ups you wouldn't be able to see so well. Yeah, even squats are kind of tough because of where my because of where the green screen sits. But that way I could even get a workout. MLG effects. Wait, Major League Gaming effects? I don't know what. I assume you mean Major League Gaming. What are MLG effects? That I don't know. Is it my awesome prowess at Animal Crossing? Is that what you mean? Because I'm pretty amazing at Animal Crossing. Aside from the fact that I don't cheat, unlike some people, or Rev, doing time travel. Although I can't say much because I did time travel in order to fill up my museum with a bunch of stuff. Because the museum is awesome. Come on. Hey, come back here. Scallop? There he is! Okay, you guys, just wait for it, okay? So, Pascal is a weird, strange, hippie, otter thing of some sort, right? So, basically, he always lays on us his deep truth, right? So, what we get to see is what his deep truth is. What is this? This is very strange. This Teletubby thing is very, 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 very strange. I am very confused. I have no idea what I'm looking at there. It made my brain hurt. Alright. Thanks for your generosity, man. Okay, you guys ready for the deep truth of Pascal? Alright. Center yourselves and listen. Like, whoa. I have been truthed, Pascal. I have been truthed. Boosh. Oh, the addition of those effects. Yeah. So this is hilarious. After you give Pascal his daily scallop, you can see him going around, basically trying to eat it. it's super adorable. Like, legitimately, it's awesome. So the big thing that Pascal does is after you give him a scallop, he will give you an item. It's either a recipe for a mermaid something or other, or it's a pearl. The nice thing about the pearls is that you need those in order to do several different crafting things, one of which is mermaid stuff. So it's kind of nice because it's a really rare crafting item. Right now, I'm trying to find any of the really valuable sea creatures that they've got. There's some really cool ones. But yeah, like it's really funny because Pascal legitimately has some like good, solid, fascinating stuff, like philosophical thoughts. It's really strange because he literally hits me as an otter who hangs out with too much seaweed. Like it's really weird. I legitimately don't understand where they're going with the character or what they were trying to do with him. But I feel like I need to have some kind of a deep truth speaking non-player character in my D&D campaign just because of Pascal. Like something weird and off the wall that you would never expect. Like a sage bugbear or something like that. You know, you don't see a bugbear laying out wisdom. Pascal is your college roommate with the munchies after Philosophy 101. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like it's weird because I mean, he says that it's deep truth, right? And I mean, sometimes I guess sort of. But mostly it's pretty shallow thinking and trying to sound philosophical by just sounding philosophical and making weird mixed metaphors. And a bunch of like logical fallacies and stuff like that. Although, you know, when is philosophy not logically phallic? Logically phallic. Okay, Dr. Freud. Sorry. Logically... Oh my god. I can't say this without making it sound like the word that I just said. Logically stupid! Logically bad! We'll go with that. I hurt my head. I hit myself with my ring. Ow. Oh, jeez. So yeah, that's it's weird because some philosophical schools of thought were actually designed that way, and that they are meant to be like logical loops and stuff like that. So, for example, you have the what's it called? I mean, it's kind of a bad example, but the idea of flying spaghetti monster, that is meant as a goofy religion that is fundamentally based off of logical fallacies. That is what it does, and it ends up in a massive logical loop, essentially. I'll swap it with like a seaweed. Ooh, that's a shark. I want to try to catch that. Or at least it appears to be a shark. Don't ban me, Mathewin! You can't ban me from my own channel. Actually, can you? Can you get banned from your own channel? Like your channel doesn't get banned, but you as a user gets banned from your channel. Am I laying down deep truths here, guys? I'm not. Okay. I was hoping that I was that I was, you know, gonna be laying deep truths like Pascal, but I'm not at his level yet. Obviously, I mean, Wisdom of Danny is certainly another great and quality category that people need to be made aware of. Ooh! big shark. Awesome. Totally awesome. Dang it, Mira! You can't catch anything in there. Literally, there's no fish. Stop Okay, Mira's over here going fishing and then watering plant. Go fish, water plant. Whoa. Make up your mind. Doc is up here just sitting on the pavement randomly because why not? How is it comfy? You're sitting on brick. Technically it's cobblestone, but that's not much better. Arguably it's worse. Because you get all those weird lumps. I gotta sell a bunch of stuff. You know, it's funny because whenever I play this game, I always end up thinking, where's the music? Where's my chosen song that I put in and composed and stuff? The problem is that normally when I play this game, I play it with the sound off, so I never hear anything, and it means that it's kind of my own fault for not being able to hear where the song is played, because why would I? Wait, what is this? Wonder is the driver of peace. Wisdom is the birth of empathy and of us. Today, science tells us that the essence of nature is transformation. Only a child of the multiverse may engender this current of potential. You and I are beings of the multiverse. By condensing, we vibrate. We dream, we exist, we are reborn. Child, look within and strengthen yourself. How should you navigate this quantum solar system? Although you may not realize it, you are ancient. Humankind has nothing to lose. Throw. Interesting. Throughout history, humans have been interacting with the multiverse and molecular structures. Our conversations with the travelers that walk means in the enabling of the relic. Life is nothing short of an invocation flow of dynamic purpose. Interesting. I mean, you know, I'll be honest, I'm not a philosophy person. I have not read a lot of information on it. I did take philosophy classes when I was in college, but I am no more qualified to speak intelligently about philosophy than, you know, like a high schooler, basically, or at least that's how I feel about it. I mean, we talked primarily about the really major thoughts on philosophy and the major, I guess, schools, so to speak. So like Kantism and utilitarianism and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I didn't read much more about it. Honestly, it's one of the things that I want to do, but I simply haven't had a chance, unfortunately. Nobody's qualified to talk about philosophy as it's not a science. And it's interesting you mention that because it's not wrong. The weird thing with philosophy is that anybody can be a philosopher. There's no literal qualification to say, I am a philosopher, except for you to come out and say, I'm a philosopher. And because I have said that, now I'm a philosopher. So it's kind of weird. It's a very strange thing because essentially all that you can do philosophically is you can put forward your ideas, your concepts of a philosophy. And I guess in that context, it would become important to define what do we consider philosophy. Do we consider it to be a way of thinking? Do we consider it to be a way of living? Do we consider it to be a combination of all things in the way that we live, think, exist? Is it a study on existence itself? And that's the thing, is different philosophies have sort of those different meanings and conceptually are different things. This is actually a decent example of this. When it comes to Animal Crossing, you can think of this game as philosophy in general. because there is nothing that is inherently right or wrong about how you play this game. There are things that are quantifiable to an extent, but by and large, it doesn't make a difference in the long run. So for example, in this particular game, you are able to buy and sell turnips. And the idea is that it acts literally as the stock market, that is STALK market, because turnip stocks, hilarious. You're ideally going to buy low and sell high, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything with the stock market if you don't want to. This week, I personally didn't. I didn't buy turnips this week. By the same token, you can think of this game again as a philosophical sort of experiment, because what you end up looking at and what you end up doing is entirely up to you as to the regard of what is correct. What is the proper way of living on your island? It's whatever you want. It is your personal island. It's your personal business. Now, you might be in agreement with a lot of other people. You might be in disagreement with a lot of other people in terms of how things are organized, where things go, what specific features you want to have, all of that kind of stuff. But again, that's the problem when it comes to looking at philosophy as a scientific endeavor, is that a philosophical, not entity, but a philosophical set, or a philosophical rules, quote unquote, cannot inherently be proven to be right or wrong. Just like in this case. In this game, I have a garden where I have color-coded my flowers. I did this based strictly on color and not by type. Is that wrong? No. You could do it by specific type and have all the colors. You could do it by type and color. You could do it without rhyme or reason to any way related to grouping the flowers at all. You could set it up such that you have no garden whatsoever and you couldn't care less about what flowers you do or don't have. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's interesting. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, yeah. I mean, Flying Spaghetti Monster, it's not necessarily philosophical. It is more legal and religious, technically. Because it is considered a religion, and so you can, like, wear your colander in like, driver's license photos and stuff like that. Because it's considered religious garb, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, it's an interesting, weird kind of thing. Please don't call in actual philosophy professors to start commenting on stuff. I mean, it's, yeah. I mean, the stream is always deep, you know, that's what we aim for here on Danny's philosophical and, like, Danny's philosophy and video games, TM. Speaking deep truths with Pascal. But wait, I need to get, like, that, what is it, not hipster, but more like blues, jazz type of DJ radio voice going, where you talk a little bit more like this, and you have that kind of beatnik quality to it. You're a little bit lower in the register, and more deliberate as you're speaking with your enunciation. You gotta make sure that everybody is in line when we're talking about our deep truths. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. I'm just saying, it would be fun. But that's what I mean. You have to have that type of speech if you're going to be talking about, like, true deep truths. Or you could go the other stereotype and go with what I imagine Pascal sounds like and do the whole, like, hey, man, did you ever think, like, being happy as a clam isn't about being a level of happy, but having the same type of happiness that a clam does, like, whoa. Why are they... So, Rev, what you're looking at, it sounds like to be more of a conspiracy angle of why are they called fish fingers if fish have fins. So that's when you get like your Alex Jones on, when you're just like, I was in the restaurant the other day. I was over there, right? I was in the grocery store too. Grocery stores have it as well. It's ridiculous. The leftists are trying to shove fish fingers down our throats. You know what? You know what? I talked to a fish guy. Fish do not have fingers. This is a leftist conspiracy. They are trying to tell us that fish have fingers. They do not. They have fins. Ask anybody. I have asked many scientists myself, personally. I've had them on this show before, and they know it. Go and buy my diet pills. That's my Alex Jones impression. That is true. Fish are turning into frogs, and also, if memory serves, frogs are gay or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. But the key thing is that at the end, you always have to hawk your product. You know, you're like ABC, always be closing. You know, you got to be up on that. It's good times, good times. But yeah, I mean, conspiracy theories coupled with philosophical discussions, I mean, that's a perfect storm right there. You know, you're in for like a nice beatnik coffee house in the middle of Portland right there. Ah, budgerigard. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate doing the fishing with this controller because this is one of the controllers that it is a first party controller, but it's the cheap version, so it doesn't have a vibration function. And I'm so used to fishing by the feel of the vibration. There we go. Am I ready? Am I ready for what? What's happening? I don't know if I'm not going to say I'm ready if I don't know what's going on. Find something really cool. Okay, well, I've got some new stuff, so I think that'll count. Okay, so I actually just got these today. It's fun. Well, I should say they actually arrived just today. These things. These are actually mouthpieces. So I got Deadpool and Hulk because they were on sale. I got a 2-for-1 deal. So this is actually a lifting mouth guard, and I got these because they're meant to stabilize your jaw, and for my purposes at least, whenever I lift, especially when I work out, then I tend to clench my teeth really, really powerfully and really strongly, so they end up grinding, and so these help with that. And the nice thing is that you can still talk at least a little bit. But the other major thing is that it forces your jaw open. It forces it to stay open, and because it's forced to stay open, it's also forcing you to breathe a little bit more. I haven't fitted them yet, because you have to boil them in order to fit them properly. But yeah, they're pretty nifty. What? It is a family stream. I was showing my cool little mouthpieces. They're super cool. Oh, you thought it was a woodwind mouthpiece? No, not a woodwind mouthpiece. Not for me. I will say that I used to play the trumpet. I don't have it anymore. I actually never owned one. I only rented, but I did used to play them. And I can still do the thing. So, you have to go like this. when you play the trumpet. Essentially, the way it works, I do actually know this. The reason that you have to do that, you have to get that specific sound out because it's your lips vibrating together. And the reason that you need that is because brass instruments don't have reeds, whereas with an alto sax or any saxophone, bassoon, clarinet, stuff like that, it's got a reed on it. And so with the reeds, you have to blow in them a little bit differently. Because the reed is what vibrates on that, whereas with the brass instruments, you have to supply the vibration through your lips. So it's a neat little something or other. It's kind of cool. But yeah, but no, honestly I don't need these mouthpieces really, and the thing is there is science behind them showing that they can help with like bettering performance and stuff like that. But there's two issues with it. First and foremost is that they don't do much better than not having the mouthpiece, and they don't at all compare with like dental fitted headgear and stuff like that. The second issue is that they're only really effective if you've got problems with TMJ. So TMJ is the temporal mandibular joint, and so it's the joint right here that connects your jaw to the rest of the skull. And there's a lot of problems that can happen with it, where the bones can grind together. You can have tendon problems that don't connect it properly, all sorts of different stuff like that. And it can kind of make you get something similar to like a palsy, where your bite is crooked and stuff like that. So I know for so like Sylvester Stallone, for example, he actually has a palsy that makes him look similar to that, where his mouth is a little bit crooked, and so that's due to a palsy that he had as a kid. But TMJ problems like that are problematic, and it can be problematic for lifting because it can misalign the rest of your body. Because if your TMJ is misaligned, it actually misaligns your spine as well. So it's a big problem there. But yeah, it's a neat thing. Again, I don't particularly need it, except for me personally, it's just for protection against grinding on my teeth, on my molars. Other than that, I don't really need them at all. I don't. But like I said, it's mostly because they were on sale. It was a 2-for-1 deal. For the Marvel branded stuff, so it's kind of cool, and so I got Deadpool and Hulk. It's nifty. But yeah, and EA did learn a thing, so that's fun. It's I mean, it's not really a huge deal. You can use just like a regular mouthpiece. The thing with these is it doesn't have the front teeth covered. You'll see those in contact sports. So primarily you'll see that kind of stuff with like boxing and UFC and things like that. And there's two major differences there. First off, it covers up your teeth, and so those are designed to actually protect your teeth from impact. The other thing is that you're able to close your mouth. You're able to actually close your jaw and fully clench your jaw. Whereas with these, you're not able to do that. If you're doing athletic things, like if you're playing baseball or soccer or whatever, where you're just running and doing cardio, these mouthpieces are actually kind of detrimental because they can dry out your mouth a lot. Because they cause a lot more airflow into your mouth, a lot more oxygen flow that way. But yeah, yeah, and so actually I can show you really quickly here. So you'll see on these particular mouthpieces that they have a different structure than the boxing ones. So like you can see here, so I'll give you like on the inside there. So you can see the two big things on the side are where your molars sit, and then this part right here, that's what bends in front of your jaw. So it's right side. So when you put it in, and you just have this little thing right at the front. It's just that little U shape in the front. And that's what allows you to talk and drink while you still have it in. But it does nothing to actually protect against any impact that you've got. So yeah, they are not at all for boxing or any other sort of contact sport. for those, you would use, if not, I mean, typically boxers, you'll see them use the upper jaw guards that they can bite down on. But a lot of times in football, at least American football, you'll see that they've got the mouth guards that are attached to the helmet, and it has kind of like the full plate that covers the entirety of their teeth. And they bite down on a piece that's inside to hold them in place, essentially. But yeah, so just fun little factoids for anybody who cares. And again, for me, it really doesn't matter, honestly. I am nowhere near in need of this level of sophistication for all this kind of stuff. I can't lift enough to make it worthwhile, essentially. Which is, I mean, it's a little saddening because I am trying to work out more and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, COVID obviously set me back a decent amount, but I've been trying to keep up with it and get stronger and things, and that's why I've gotten a bunch of workout equipment and whatnot. So, I'm trying, I'm doing what I can, and whatevs. The biggest thing now is that I've got no money. Still. Because science! Oh man, you want to talk about underpaid academics? Let's go back to philosophy professors. Whoo dang! I honestly don't know if it's even possible to get grants for philosophical endeavors. I mean, that said, I'm completely biased because I only know of funding stuff related to sciences. So we have like the NIH, which is the National Institutes of Health here in the U.S., and then we've also got the NSF, which is the National Science Foundation. So the NSF is more for like educational sciences and for things like, I want to say like geography, but geology and stuff like that. The earth sciences, things like that. National Institutes of Health, naturally, is for anything related to human important things. So that's where your preclinical and clinical research is coming from. But philosophically, or philosophy-wise, I honestly don't know if there is a way where, if I'm a philosophy professor, I can basically say, give me money so that I can sit around and think about philosophy questions. I honestly have no idea if that is a thing. It might be. I don't know. But yeah. Amazed. There's a sale at Timmy's shop. And Patreon. We're gonna fund all of our philosophy professors through Patreon. So here, watch this. Are you guys ready? Greetings. He waved to me. I can make him embarrassed. Oh no, he's happy. He's happy. Okay. Delight. There, he's embarrassed. He's shy. So cute. You can get grants for philosophy? That is just... God, I don't know how I feel about that. It seems so weird. I don't know. I mean, obviously, again, I'm super biased, both in my knowledge of grant funding and stuff like that, but also that I don't find philosophy to be worthy of funding. Like, I don't understand it. Why is it that literally sitting around thinking about new ways to think about things is something that's worth paying for? I don't get it. Maybe I'm too much of a science-minded person, and I think too much about, like, real conceptual aspects and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd be more about thinking of philosophy, just hanging with the homies, relaxing, and just being like, yo, dudes, what if blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blue, blue. But yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Rev. You're just like you're hanging out by yourself, just relaxing, sitting, chilling, whether it's with you by yourself or with some friends, and just talking about stuff. Really, without philosophy, we wouldn't have a lot of things? Okay. I don't know. I don't know that I'd agree with that. I mean, material conditions? What do you mean? Like having a cracked sword? Or like a busted PCR machine? I mean, that's material condition, right? But, okay, thinker started things, but at the same time, this is conceptually different thinking, right? You have thoughts for the sake of thoughts, which in my eyes, that's going to be your philosophical thoughts. That's going to be ethics. It's the concept of life and humanity and things like that. Now, granted, a lot of things can come from that in terms of governance and stuff like that. How is it that humans can and are willing to be governed? That I would consider, at least in part, a philosophical argument. But when you start talking about starting things, I would not consider some inventors to necessarily be philosophers. To an extent, they did think about how they think, though. So Thomas Edison would be a good example of this, where he completely screwed over people like Nikola Tesla. Now, the fact is that he had a personal code of ethics, a personal philosophy that allowed him as a human to, I would say it's malicious personally, but in my opinion, maliciously and with malice aforethought, steal from another person and claim it as their own and essentially screw over the other guy. That is a combination of philosophy being intertwined with new inventions. That said, having a new invention is not necessarily a philosophical thing. Granted, we always say that if you want to find something or a new way of doing things, give it to a lazy person because they're going to find the easiest and most efficient way of doing it. Don't give it to the hardest worker. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting thing, and of course it's a fascinating topic for discussion. Absolutely. I would have discussions with my old roommate about philosophy and philosophical topics for hours. But again, it was just us sitting around chilling on a couch. You know, I find it hard to believe, at least in this day and age, that you would be able to go up to a funding agency and say, I am going to work and think and come up with a new system of governance that will combine aspects of this, and this. Don't get me wrong, I think that is a great idea. I think that we could use new forms of governance that are more malleable, particularly in this day and age, since we have such a fast-paced society and everything is changing constantly. I think that would be a great thing to be able to do. But I don't understand, because what is it that the funding agency is paying for? What is the result? Is it documentation of how it works and how people interact with each other? Is it, can you patent a governance system in this particular case? I know I'm looking like this much in a field that is this much. So for me personally, I'll tell you a quick story because I got to get going soon and I don't want to go on too much of a rant. A lot of my work deals with something called ontologies. So ontologies actually originally started as a philosophy endeavor, a philosophical concept that involves metaphysics and essentially the meaning and concept of life and the fundamental questions of what is life, how do we define things, and more importantly for my purposes, how do we categorize things. So from a philosophy standpoint, this came down to what do we consider to be a living organism? What do we consider to be living and sentient? What do we consider to be civilized? All of this kind of stuff. And so different things would be categorized in these ontologies, these philosophical ontologies. For my purposes, biological and medical sciences kind of took this idea of philosophical ontologies and applied it directly to concepts in biology. So, for example, taxonomy is probably something you're all familiar with, at least to an extent, where we as humans are referred to as Homo sapiens. That is our genus and species. We also have something called Mus musculus, or we also have Gallus gallus. We have Rattus norvegicus. We've got all sorts of different cool stuff. Arabidopsis is another fun one, as is, dang, I can never remember the name, but E. coli, whatever the E stands for. It's like estrachinally something. I don't freaking remember. Either way, all of these different things, those are all based off of taxonomy. Now, the thing is that taxonomy is a science, and it is related heavily to ontology because we are trying to categorize these different organisms using particular criteria. More recently, it's become more scientific because we have the ability to more properly connect different things together because of things like DNA sequencing and all of this kind of stuff. Whereas before it was more on looks and physical aspects. Now we can go a little bit deeper and all this kind of thing. But that's essentially what medical and biological ontologies are. We'll have things like protein ontologies, which will indicate different types of proteins that might do the same thing. We've got things that are just related to simple medical terms, medical terminologies. So things that are related to diagnosing, things that are related to prognosing. So having very specific terms that have very particular definitions and all this kind of stuff. Yes, thank you, the matter. Thank you, that's the one. Stupid E. coli. That's why everybody calls it E. coli. I'm just saying. Same thing, you've got Xenopus, which is Xenopus laevis. That is the African clawed frog. You also have the nematode worm, which is C. elegans. And so that is Caelomorphae? Caelomorphae? I don't know. Don't tell any of my former developmental biology professors that I can't remember these names of model organisms, because I honestly don't remember a lot of them now. But I don't work with them anymore, so what do you expect? But then, at the same time, you can always have fun with it. So one last fun note, not necessarily ontologies, but just on biology and development in general. One of the favorite things that I have when it comes to this idea of philosophy and discovery and this kind of thing is that when it comes to discovery and that concept is, again, it's not necessarily philosophy in my point of view, but one fun thing about discovery when it comes to sciences is that anytime you discover something, you get to name it. Clostridium difficile, that's a bacterium, if memory serves. I don't remember if it causes anything specific, but it's used in a lot of different things, and it's mentioned in a lot of different things. Is that cholera? No, that's Vibrio cholerae. I want to say that Clostridium difficile causes a disease, but I don't remember offhand. Don't tell my medical microbiology professor that I can't remember. But I know it's a bacterium. So anyway, you get to name a protein if you're the first person to discover it. And it just so happens that developmental biologies and most biologists are giant nerds. Just like astrophysicists are nerds for, mythology and stuff like that. Essentially, the biologists tend to be nerds for a bunch of other different things, like video games. So there is a very key, very important protein related to developmental biology that starts up relatively early on in development, and it is officially called SHH, and it stands for Sonic Hedgehog, and it is awesome. It's hilarious because it is highly, highly necessary to all things related to fetal development, and knockouts are lethal of this particular gene, it also partially determines what different cells inside of the fetus will eventually become during the growth and development process. It is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, it's a fun one. There's also connected ones that are Link and Ganondorf. So basically, if memory serves, you have Zelda and Link, and then they are inhibited by Ganon. Again, these are all proteins. There's also, I read about a new, I want to say it was an analytical pipeline that's called TARDIS, named after the Doctor Who thing. And that's a case of you start with the acronym and kind of work backwards to make it fit whatever you're doing. But yeah, Sonic Hedgehog is probably my favorite one of all of those nerdy ones. But that said, I am over time, and I started ranting and raving about science and awesomeness and some of my stuff. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. This was a really fun one. This was really cool. Great discussion for everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and everybody for participating in it. I really appreciate it all. But that said, I will be back on Saturday. I'll be back again with the Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. I have been killing it in that game. I'm excited to be maintaining my sort of one dungeon per stream streak. So hopefully we'll keep it up. We should be able to, because last time I actually started the next dungeon. So that shouldn't be much of a problem. But either way, you guys all take care of yourselves. Have a great time. Stay safe. Be well. And hopefully I will see you all again on Saturday.